Good day, grade 10 students. This video is made to make clarifications on your performance tasks 1 and 2, particularly making an info poster and an infographic material. Most people would use the terms info posters and infographics interchangeably when referring to a visual representation of information. So para nila, same ra or parihara na ang info posters and infographics. However, if we dig deeper into the meanings of those words, we would really know the differences between the two. So first, let's talk about info poster. It is a graphic that conveys multiple segments of information, typically using words and numbers to represent quantitative data. They are much more subjective and usually prioritize qualities and storytelling over quantifiable data. Meaning to say, ang gi-highlight sa info poster is the information or the words rather than the numbers. So iyahang gi-prioritize ang more on the storytelling over the numbers nga gi-stated sa info poster. They generally use iconic type graphic elements for visual design appeal and are typically vertical in orientation, similar to a wall poster. They are meant to be read usually from top to bottom. So usually, ang pagkabuhat aning info poster is vertical in orientation, meaning to say pabarog siya. It's portrait style, not landscape. Usually portrait style ni siya, similar to a wall poster. Being portrait style, ay ang orientation is vertical, so it is usually read from top to bottom. Info posters may incorporate simple infographic elements, but this does not change their purpose. They are created to collect a variety of facts and figures about a topic in one place and to communicate it in an interesting and easy to read format. So again, akong balikon, info poster is emphasizing more on the words, more on the storytelling qualities over the quantifiable data, and it is meant to be read from top to bottom. How about infographic? Infographic or information graphic is a visual representation of information, data, or knowledge. They prioritize quantifiable values and convert them into complex data visualizations. Ang nakalahi, info poster is highlighting the qualities and storytelling over quantifiable data, over the numbers, while infographic is more on emphasizing the values, the numbers. In an infographic, a mark, a symbol, or visual element typically stands for quantitative information. Color, size, and shape usually provide the qualitative aspect. Infographics use text as labels and for short explanations to make the data useful. Think of charts, diagrams, graphs, maps, timelines, and modern visualizations that aren't yet named. Infographics are designed to engage these more deeply, which is why they can be a useful tool for knowledge translation. So to sum it up, infographics are visual representations of information nga naana sila yung mga graphs, mga diagrams, maps, timelines, and other modern visualizations about the data given. So in an infographic, we as the audience, we as the viewers would really think deeply, we would really analyze the given data. Sabtununon pa kay siyag maayo. While an info poster, atahon from top to bottom, di na kita maglabad ani sa info poster. Infographic, in its true sense, would really entail from the audience, from the viewers, a deeper understanding of the data given. So mo gina siya ang kalahian gyud sa duha between info posters and infographics. Now let's see some examples of info posters. So as you can see on this left part here, what HR should and shouldn't be talking about in 2017. So this is an example of an info poster. If you have noticed, it is written vertically. Yung orientation is vertical, pabarog siya, and wala kitay makita nga graph, di ba? Poster gyud ka siya style. It's a poster bearing information on what should and shouldn't. On the right side, 5 tips to keep your chin up. Wala sa gyapon siya graph, wala siya pie graph, timelines, or so on. Make this an info poster. In anira siya ka-simple ang info poster. Okay? Now, here are the examples of infographics. So, sa infographic, kung nakabantay mo, mas complicated siya. Mas kinahanglan siya more time nato to understand the information or the data given. Naa siya yung mga graph, di ba? So, examples po diri sa ibabaw na atay line graph, bar graph, maps. So, muna siya example sa infographics. In its true sense, ang infographic jud from the word graphic, meaning to say na ay mga graphs nga gipangbutang sa ato ang material. Moving on, let's talk about the performance task of Module 1. So it is clearly stated there the things that you're going to do for your performance task 1, that is making an info poster. Even the meaning of info poster is written in the module. That is a balance of text and images, graphics, or illustrations which can enhance the content or message. And what is the content of your info poster? Supposing you were the elected SK chairperson in your barangay. So, in this time of pandemic, you should inform the people of the situation and the do's and don'ts. So, you wanted to take part of the solution to this crisis by raising awareness, thus making info poster. So, sa inyong info poster, inyong ibutang ang do's and don'ts nga angay o dili angay buhaton in this time of pandemic. Okay? And also take note of the criteria on how your info poster would be graded. Performance task for Module 2 is about making an infographic. So, imagine yourself, you are a task force volunteer in your community and you wanted to create an awareness campaign material about a clear presentation of enhanced community protocol. So, you're going to make a visual representation that aims to make the data easily understandable at a first glance. That is an infographic. So your target in doing this performance task is to help the community understand what they must do when they read and remember the ECQ protocol. Take note that there are guidelines to follow for the enhanced community quarantine. Please use those guidelines, those information stated in your module in making the infographic material. So make sure in your infographic material there are graphs, pie charts maybe, depends on how you're going to present the visual representation of the guidelines. Again, I'd like to emphasize to make use of the guidelines in making your infographics. Dapat ang kaning mga guidelines nga gipang-mention sa inyong modules makita sa inyong infographics. Mo ninyong basihan sa data nga inyong ibutang sa inyong infographics. Okay? Please make use of charts, of any forms of graphic elements. And upon making your infographics as well, please read in advance the criteria on how your infographics would be graded para kebaw mo kung asa dapita or aspect sa inyong infographic ang graduhan. If you have questions, please write them on the comment box below.